That's quite a mouthful, renegade seed. I like it. Now that minute is gone. Now that minute is gone. There's only so many minutes until an appointed time. I've written a preparation. I can't get sidetracked. Our work has been cut out for us. We who were born fallen, then forgiven, are such as to remind the rest that though we are all here to be judged justly, the constant reminder that a small percentage of people have and will claim that we are born fallen because Eve ate forbidden fruit from her mate and her mate. Eve ate forbidden fruit and her mate was blamed. That's a mouthful. Try to say that 3 times. We have a constant reminder. The world, who is infuriated, has a constant reminder by a growing smaller percentage of people that remind them they're fallen. And we believe it's because Eve ate and said, yummy, try this. And the person who's blamed in the Bible, and so it's got to be true, the person that was blamed was Adam. And then he ate it too. I'm afraid of being a coward. Are you afraid of that word? How now, brown cowpox, coward? Cowpox. You know, that's what a recent medical phenomenon started with, the study of something that they called cowpox. ARD, A-R-D, is a word, partner. As a former super soldier reject, because I disobeyed a direct order during a live fire training mission to save the life of a private Greg McDonald, who was serving with me, another private, in the 26th TAB. That's short for Target Acquisition Battery, the field artillery attached to the 82nd Airborne at what they now call Fort Liberty, North Carolina. Private McDonald was in the Sound Flash Brigade, and I was a surveyor. I've parachuted from C5 Galaxies to a hot air balloon. That's right, baby. I went up, and away through a hole in the platform of a balloon. So did a few other guys. Repelling from cliffs, towers, and twice from a helicopter simply because somebody asked if I would like to try it. It was free. I mean, I guess your parents paid for it, for my adrenaline thrills. At the time, I thought that's all there really was to life, was that tickle in the tummy. That buzz gave me such a thrill. Somebody else was paying the bills. I didn't need money. But I've grown to despise the Army. It's a long story. No one made me write this down and prepare the following teaching. My will is not my own. My will is not my own. Now I may only stay intent on emulating my adopted big brother, Jesus Christ, because I think he is the eye in the sky to them. But in my heart tells me I'm co-heir with Christ Jesus, Lord God Most High, the incarnate creator of the universe, shepherd of the sheep that I call family. Welcome, everybody, to Mud Flood Was Armageddon. Mud Flood was Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. And that usually means no fisticuffs. Cheers. What's your email? Soy-free thoughts. Because I was trying to think of a joke. What else would my email be? Starford, baby. Because I tried to make that a catchphrase in like 2017. You know, and when I was, you know, me and Wise Up and some other people were bringing Starfords to the world, and I was going like, check it out. It's a Starford, baby. So it's at gmail.com, starfordbaby@gmail.com. And as we used to say in the 1990s, that's all one word, Starford baby. Really, it's been a long time. It's been a crazy thing. Wait till you see what we got going here. I'm probably going to put it on full screen so you don't see me smoking my new Gandalf pipe. That's right. Just deal with it. I'm going to just go in order because I've been learning so much. Fard, the action of fard, verb. Probably some of you have heard Rush Limbaugh expound on this. It's utterly abhorring and defensive, all farding, painting, and counterfeit cast colors. It's like painting on a face that's wrinkled. Wrinkledy-doo-dah. Wrinkledy-day. Fard. Ard is in there, you know, because mentioned partner earlier, fard, ard, coward. Born around 1124, Renard inherited the lordship of this place. Of course, it had to be some place like that. Years later, he would complain in a letter to Louis VII that a part of his patrimony was violently and unjustly confiscated. Oh my goodness, it's all about the kingdom of Jerusalem, Baldwin III. Who are we stumbling on here? Renard. Partner? That's not an A-R-D, that's a A-L-D. Prince of Antioch. Well, we all have heard of Antioch in the Bible. And I don't believe that I believe they added the whole 1,000 years, and probably so do you. So this is somebody that we need to look into it. Not only that, but we need to look into this, and we will. But let's look at the pictures and enjoy them. What's this? Oh, a small picture. They don't. William of Tyre. I wonder if he's the Prince of Tyre that was spoken about in the Bible that built everything for Solomon. That looks like an American flag. I'm just kidding. But not really. That's what that guy said in a movie one time, and I thought it was funny. So here's like, that probably was a star fort, maybe, but it looks like it got hit by the glittering sword. Trying to fix it up over here on the right. Let's keep going. So I looked up the year 11. What do they claim in their history? What do they say happened in that year? What was it again? 1124. The baby-faced Barefoot King. Hey, Alex. What's up? Hey, it's like looking in the mirror. That's what I look like, everybody, without this beard. So in January, everything happened. February, a lot more happened, Never heard of them. Add a bag of Damascus. We have to pay a dime a bag for groceries in Alamosa. Isn't that ridiculous? Otto. Oh, hey, what's up? Poland Christianity. Pomerania. Huh. I've heard of that. They try to put a lot of Trinity versus anti-Trinity in that year, 1124, but they throw it in Muhammad because Muhammad just means like a Prince of Peace. It was a title they used for Jesus Christ because there really is no Muhammad. That's why there's no pictures of him, not because everybody else in the world said, he's like Jesus, he's so holy, and he doesn't like his picture. So nobody in the world will show a picture of him. Please. Was I born yesterday? So everything happened in this year that affected that butterfly wing to affect everything. Partner. Hey, look, I can get these books, at least while I'm still enrolled here. Look, I can just click read, and because I'm enrolled in this school, pow. Oh, anyway, I got it pulled up later. We'll read it later. You can just read it, or I did read it. Wolf lubricants. That's a big part of whatever we got studying here. James Wolf, I think he's in on this. Bukow our wolf. This is from, obviously this is not the United States Wikipedia. It's been translated, so there might be some translation rough spots. This man, Bukow our wolf, who I searched, it looks like, emerged from a shipyard founded in 1838 and transformed into a mechanical engineering company. Well, he just emerged, and what did he metamorphose from? Based in Magdeburg. That's a very popular white power, because Saxons, the Anglo-Saxons, that's like, why would those Saxons mate with less pure white people? That's what it all comes down to. Company emerged from an initiative to start regular steamships. Wow, they just jumped right into it. So this must be after they already metamorphosed into the engineering company. So if you have your pencils and papers, write it down. I kind of stumbled on that because I was going like, what? The company had a pleasure gondola? I'm trying not to read this stuff while I'm talking, but that kind of jumped out at me there. More of that revolution of 1848 around the world. In the United States, we were going through an end of the world panic. Oh, that explains how Ellen White became so famous. London's World Fair, the dividend in 1838. This is all part of their plan. Look at it. You can see it's translating. Translates fast. So here's that town. Here's a picture of it. I couldn't get a bigger picture, I don't think. Even that's not that big. So here's that town and that tunnel they were building. They were building a tunnel like the Tams Tunnel. And although these tabs I pulled up won't mention the Alfred Beach and the Beach Tunnel, which looks like he found the same equipment that they cleaned out the Tams Tunnel with Enough. Look at that. Look at this is a tunnel under a river. A tunnel under a river. We'll get a better picture. Cool. I just want to look at a big one. What's this? A postcard? I guess the United States wasn't the only place that had, like, they probably got a whole story. And then Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. No, they're saying some guy in their own country invented it. What a fake history we have. Gonna fake now. Yeah. Can I see the Tams Tunnel archive in person? You got money? So this is where you can go and visit it. Brunel, that's going to be a big part of the tunnel. It's dog friendly. Look, he's like, is it dog friendly? Well, this smiling gentleman holding this fine looking specimen of some sort of a poodle mix, which you can't go wrong. You mix anything with a poodle and you've taken a great dog and made it better almost. A golden noodle, man, I've seen some and I've been jealous every time. Look at that one. Brunel. Hey, this is where the first underwater concert party happened in 1122. Oh, wait, we're done with that year. Come on, you guys, get off it. So it's still 1827. It surprises me. Why'd they wait so long? Obviously, they could have done it in 1825 to celebrate. Oh, 1827, they wanted to celebrate the opening of the Erie Canal. Gonna go back to that old. I'm going to look at the tunnels from that year, but first we'll start with the Tams Tunnel. Tunnels underneath the River Thames sounds interesting. This Rotherite and Wapping, it measures 35 feet, 11 meters wide, 20 feet, goes 400 meters, 75 feet below the river's surface. Okay. Measured at high tide, first tunnel known to have been constructed successfully underneath a navigable river. It was built in 1825. Man, while the United States was only cleaning out, should we clean out the Erie Canal from 1817 to 1825? Yes, they were building tunnels underneath the Thames. They won. They won. Don't act like they didn't win that one. Check that guy out. We've studied him before, and you remember that picture. That's a chain to keep ships from coming across the river. This is the guy that did it. The father of Imzambard Kingdom, Brunel. Huh. Women and their children and the men, they loved to, in 1838, while people were getting ready to fight the Alamo with muskets in England. Check it out. But, these guys got dressed up on the weekend to come show off their work and go, this is where we work because we have this shield, which is nothing like the pictures they show of it, but it kind of breaks up the ground and then they wheelbarrow it out with little, come on everybody, what are they burning here and why, how are they keeping it vented? Why is the smoke blowing that way when they're in a tunnel with no end here? Never mind. So that's a much scale model, but again, it's good for cleaning out. Is it really good for hard rock boring, like hard rock mining? It might be good for They'll make this small, I'll bet. Yep. So this is the one side 15 years after they got it built up, but I don't think people would line up. Why do they have to line up and walk this far? You know, to get in line to go to it. It's like, oh, walk all the way down these steps because it was probably mud flooded. It was probably already there. Then they cleaned it out and started selling tickets, kind of like tickets to go see Mesa Verde and the other tourist things. Basically, this might as well say, look what we found. Look what we cleaned out. It was hard work, but we did it. They're doing the tour right here. It's probably like $5, $10. They're not going to give it away, man. Slap up a bronze plaque and you've explained history. Go down these tunnels back in 1838 to walk on the tunnel. Because they didn't mind walking. You know, that red handle, I love it. I think that's somebody's there like, let's paint the handle red. You are getting a raise. I got other tabs pulled up. I've just pulled this one up. So there's a lot of tunnels. Dartford Tunnel, 1963. That's getting... So they've really picked up these... their new drilling technology. My goodness, it's crazy good. So they built in 1999. They wanted to put a power cable under here. I bet that was easy to do. They probably just cleaned it out. Only accessible by authorized personnel because it's the Millennium Dome cable. Would you please? Nobody gets to see it. Here's one, 1908. Oh, we already saw that one. No, not that one, but that's that same city. Limehouse Town Hall. Way to go, Fritz Maurice. You look suspicious, dude. That guy, Fritz Maurice. Look at this one, 1926. Waterloo Tube Station, Embankment Tube Station. Last one we'll look at. There you go. Kind of looks like the one from 1838 to me. What's the difference? They just didn't get any better? Still making them walk down quite a ways, but I guess that's part of being a tunnel. Duh. Way to go, Paco. You could sound dumber, but you'd have to be trying. So here's a picture of this shield, how they found it. These are those slides, I guess. They're so famous. Oh, I got to click it. Never mind. So they started there. No fire burning. It doesn't look level. It's going to go down, doobie-doo, down, down to get underneath there. There's a sketch from the 1800s on how they're going to do it. Live. What's that? Some sort of a piston wheel. That's the one we started on. So these guys did it. They fixed it underground. They got paid good too, man. This one here says 17. 2 tunnels of, 17 feet. Never mind. Pumping it out with a James Watt pre-plunging, vibrating things here. So you're going to loosen the dirt. He's going to fill up a bucket, hand it out to another guy. He's going to wheel it out in a wheelbarrow. We saw that other picture. See, this side kind of where it was slanting down. This is how you save an image. And then you can look at it, and we can blow it up, and then you can say, we saw one that was blown up, but kind of blurry. Just wasn't a very good quality picture. I'm going to throw it away. I don't think it's worth looking at again. So just in 1838 alone, we got the Farnsworth Tunnel, kind of a faraway shot. The Howard Tunnel, that's a little one, but tried harder. There's the Kilsby Tunnel. You got Primrose. That's pretty good. 1,164 yards. Wow. That's a lot. That means it's, 5 kilometers. 3.2 kilometers. Okay. 2 miles. So it's based out right on there. Tunnels everywhere. So we just pick another. The next year, and these are in England, they've got the Clay Cross, Milford. So this was not only canal mania going on, but tunnel mania. Toadmore. Hypergamy, colloquially referred to as dating up or marrying up. I think this had something to do what was going on with certain people in families after the reset. And I think it still goes on today, where girls and families, they say, get that guy, and that guy, you basically, if that happens, you have no chance. And that usually means you got some money. Hedgegamy. Hypogamy? Dating up. See, this is the word I highlighted and said I'm going to search for. I did. One study found that women are more selective in their choice of marriage partners than are men. I would disagree with that. The empirical study examined the mate preferences of subscribers to a computer dating service in Israel that had a highly skewed sex ratio, 646 men for every 1,000 women. And how many of those were real and not computer sock puppets, we'll never know. Despite this skewed sex ratio, they found that, open quote, on education and socioeconomic status, women on average express greater hypergamic selectivity. They prefer mates who are superior to them in traits, while men express a desire for an analog of hypergamy based on physical attractiveness. They desire a mate who ranks higher on the physical attractive scale than they do themselves. Marrying up. Maybe some people just, they don't have a chance to marry up. They got pregnant, earlier, and they got responsibilities now. And, that's what happens when you start. Oh, let's keep moving. I got a lot of tabs here, I see. Ard, probably. Yep. So there is a word ard. There's not arc welder. That's just near the word. Middle English from Anglo-French of Germanic origin, akin to Old High German, hart like a deer? In personal names such as Gerhardt, Old English herd, hard, A-R-D, coward, coward. Is the Lord calling you to be brave or a coward? Did David go there to fight Goliath? Absolutely not. He went there to deliver bread to his brothers, and someday you will be pressed into action, as was I, and you'll answer the call of God, or you'll say, no, thank you very much. Well, and you're wondering if you're a goat or a sheep. If your heart's been changed, you're going to be not a coward. Not a coward. The word of the week of May 10. Did you know the word of the week for last week? Last day, parasite. That's this is from one of those dictionary sites, Merriam-Webster. Parasite spiked in lookups last week following news reports that a candidate for the presidency of the United States had previously claimed to have had such a creature nibble away some of his gray matter. I think that's probably was joking, and I had not heard that, and I don't care who it was. To me, they're clones that just, twins separated at birth or something. Organism living within, with, or on another organism in an intimate association in which it obtains benefits from the host organism, which it usually injures. That is the definition and the literal meaning of parasite, as explained by Merriam-Webster. Although you can use it highly figuratively, as a person who exploits the hospitality of the rich and earns welcome by flattery, you could be either a posse or a prostitute. If you want to hang out and smoke those blunts with if you want to be a posse in a crew, well, you have to be the crew. Some famous quote here. Let's see if we can read it. So likewise, if we hear any man say that our fortune is bare and wretched, for what we have, neither to the consulship, other mastership, we may say unto him that our fortune is fair and goodly, and that we go not from door to door, and that among porters and bearers we vary us not with burdens, nor like flatterers are constrained to be parasites to the princes. Salacious. I think that's going to come up. Dystopian and backlash. These are thesaurus words that you're probably going to be like, wow, it's so whatever's happening in this world that explain it, that whole everything from the Mississippi, Laurel Canyon, El Nino, United States is going down, doobie-doo, down, down. Why? Because their love didn't pay the bills. They got $34 trillion in debt, and the rest of the world said, you know what? Your quantum physics and your atomic bombs don't scare us anymore. And your petrodollar is bad. Free use here. It's just a picture and some words.
Right, the drug for wakefulness. So from, the Neurotech from a national security perspective really has started with investments rather than in surveillance and enhancement.
Oh, that's good to know. Who is Nita? Is she really exposing the truth and nothing but the truth? Or is she exposing a lie and replacing it with a better understanding of quantum physics from a globe-loving minority who was invited to come to Yale and be a teacher? We're going to teach you how to be a teacher. And then you're going to go around going like, look how smart I am. Nanotech can be used okay. That's just my opinion of what she's saying on that fair use versus this. Let's just drop in here. I have no idea.
EEG data, it would require building a new classifier because EEG is electrical activity rather than blood flow in the brain. So it's a new model, but I think they can do it. And when we start to see that data, one of the things that made that study so powerful was they were using generative AI. So they were using GPT.
Whatever that is, generative AI. You heard it here first. For some reason, I misspelled the word I wanted to look up, but it was the chemical compound that I was looking up. I found it. Yay. Here it is. It's on a list of drugs used by the military and space medicine. Let's go back to the beginning. It's Medinol, sold under the brand name Provigil. Okay. It's don't care about you. You wouldn't have known to ask for it, but some people really do because it's a cognitive enhancer or a smart drug that they give to, people in the military, test pilots, people that we're going to count on you. It's like meth. Not as addicting or as dangerous, but they don't want people to use it because I think it's like cheating. And I've done some of these things. Well, a lot of these things, but it's a modafinil is an urgoric, a wakefulness, mindfulness is what they call it now, promoting drug. I told you so. It's like safer than amphetamines, cocaine. So they're giving it to your military right now, but not enough because they still can't. They can't. Well, I'm just kidding. I don't want them to do it, but couldn't they have done better in Afghanistan than to stretch that out for 20 years and just go like, you know what? We're sorry. We're leaving now. We got to get out of here. That didn't, we could have just went like, let's just don't do it. Then maybe my son wouldn't be an expert in drinking Fireball right now instead of being a once promising genius. Sorry, son. But then phenomenal. You might want to look it up. Nobody hardly ever is writing these things down. I'm going to ask you right now. There's 14 people. Anybody got a pen? Hi, Marcella. Hey, Zach. Okay. That's an unusual email, soy free, but it's easy to remember, I guess. No pen. You don't need it. Everybody's got there's like, I've got a mind like a steel something. You betting me you thought I was going to say mind like a steel gunshot. No, trap. I'm kidding. Nootropic, smart drugs, brain supplements. Do you really need their chemicals? Coffee's yummy. You know that when you cook the green beans and roast them yourselves and drink them within 30 minutes, it used to be considered a sacred drug with, it's not even like black coffee, it's green. And it's just a different kind of mood elevator. What did they call that? Cognitive enhancer, mindfulness without the drugs. I mean, I'm not saying we should, if anybody thinks I'm into this because it's like, oh, it's fun to do drugs, may I remind you, I had gangrene and didn't use antibiotics and counted on the immune system. The only antibiotics I think I took were the ones they gave me when I was, getting the second operation when they go like, hey, sorry, we left grass and dirt in this wound. Yeah, well, I got a little sympathy for that. Very little. What is a stimulant? What do they need them for? Well, that's on the list. Medinol. So is caffeine, nicotine, amphetamines, cocaine. Promotes alertness, attention, motivation, cognition, mood. A lot of that gets sucked out of people every time they realize they just finished off a half gallon of Rocky Road and watched Braveheart for the 1500th time. Look at serotonin, dopamine. This is your life. This is your hypothalamus, and it's time for you to get hyper vigilant about being a temple of God. That's why I'm here. I can say that. To my family, you understand my intent isn't to embarrass anybody, but to remind you the utmost important to the God who is a rewarders of those who just casually look and say, yeah, that's cool. No, you know it. Those who diligently seek him. Only, only. Everybody else gets told, I never knew you. Sorry, but deal with it. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've been looking for a debate for 10 years. So this girl that, you think I was kidding that she wasn't chosen to all of a sudden she's just saying, yeah, they're really doing bad Neurot Technologies. Here's how we should do it. Iranian American sent to Duke University where she was basically said, you're going to be a professor. Got appointed in 2010 by President Obama to be, to study these. So that's where she's going to get her background. In Dartmouth, I think you very little know. Yes, you can expose a lie, but unless you replace it with the truth, you're not telling the whole truth. And nothing more than the truth. Hey, I think I just bought something on YouTube or Amazon. Hey, wasn't that supposed to be something about that? This is from last night's show. So probably is that. And that. I had to look up, I spelled traceable wrong. Thank you to the person who corrected me. I spelled it like from the 1890s. Duh. Did we go over this expeditionary forces? Who's that guy? He looks familiar. Billy Mitchell, the man who founded the Air Force, who has the great story about how he got kicked out, but he kept saying, we need an Air Force. Everybody else is going to have it. Billy Mitchell, quite the story right there. What an America. These are all just white people that they put in history because it was all white history ruled the world since 1711 when Satan was loose. So all these nations that are being built and utilizing old world for hospitals or capitals or whatever level you want to clean them up to is what they may be used for. Did we talk about this? Because if you talk about balloons, I never jumped out of this type of balloon. Surveillance blimp, the SkyStar 300. What is this? What's doing chemtrails? Wow, that was a quick tab. Here's some different blimps of the United States. Doggone it, did I forget to show the pictures for today that would have explained some of this? I don't think so. I think we saved it for just the right amount of time. I hope so. Hey, what's that? That's where you're going to live if you're going to be running and getting encompassed about. Something like that. Something like I've been warning you. Something like they've done it before. Let's don't act like this is the first rodeo, people. If you're not in shape and willing to step up and not be a coward and realize what you got to do and not die in the city waiting for your 503c, your 401k, your Roth IRA, or you're vested in the company annuities like something I had, which looked like people were still getting vested in 2010, as I was. Or 2006, I think I was vested with Go Housing Associates. What do you think this pays for itself? Look at this branch sticking out of that cliff. Wonder what they used it for. This is their granary, and this is where they stored their grain. There's a village around here. It's the Grand Canyon. Something that God tells me I'm somehow in charge of. There's all of this area in the west, and where people. This is all of these things are still very usable and can only be seen from a specific spot, a specific location at the right time of day. But everybody else knew where it was. But if people looking for it, they ain't going to find it. How long ago was it abandoned? I don't know. How long does it take wood to rot? Because that's original. Just happened, people. Might as well just happen. Might as well just snap your fingers and say everything just happened. That's the inside. There's more wood. Yeah. Oh, mama, I'm in fear of my life. So they populated it, and then they just went away, and they don't know why. What happened? Where'd they go? I don't know. But they built these kind of things. Screenshot what I want to screenshot. Nobody's going like, hey, wow, look at that. That guy Divergent, who's like kind of I wonder if he's on something. You know, he is so optimistic and energetic and mindful all the time. It's how does he do it? It's eyeball Earth. What's this thing doing on this world map? I just watched some of him because I like to hear him make fun of the globe tards and stuff because he is so not he just so here's a smaller version. I'd sure like to get a bigger picture and see if in the 1700s if they were doing different layers of the troposphere. Wish I had more on that, people. So this is his show that you might want to go check it out. Kind of looks, I don't know. Back to the Germany thing, you know, in that R. Wolf and their tunnel inventing and all of their other stuff. Man, they had it going on back in the 1830s. They could invent all the cool stuff. Just like, sorry, Truman, there's nothing cool to invent anymore. These towns they already had it. I highlighted something. Let's read it. Dr. Buckland said, open quote, Moses does not deny the existence of another order of things prior to the preparation of this globe for the reception of the human race, to which he confines the details of his history. Globe right here mentioned again. These people explaining the Bible in their, what do you want to even call it? The reset, and their lies. Just pushing the globe right from the beginning. That's how you spot a liar in theology. Or somebody who hasn't been told the whole truth. So that's where I got this thumbnail. You like that? Still going. We'll be looking at the Breckenridge Pollard affair, where during this video, the wonderful history guy again, the gift that keeps giving to Mudflood, because the Lord is using him for women. Marriage was the women's primary career in those days of where it was like, I need to marry up. Men like someone more attractive to them. Well, as they age, almost everyone is more attractive to them as a woman. And they'll go, especially if they're young, they'll go like, I love you. Here, take all my money. Fallen. She was a self-pronounced, look, I'm a fallen woman. I didn't have a chance. And this Breckenridge, the most popular congressman in Kentucky for 5 terms, who's from Germany and those famous towns, promised me he would marry me. So she let him have his way with her for 6 years, and then he died. Oh, wait, he didn't die. She sued him for breach of contract. His wife died, and she had been promised all those years, honey, when you die, I want to marry you. Guess what? Here, they removed a video on Facebook, and when I clicked see why, it was a scam. Somebody scammed Facebook, and so I got to wait a couple more days before I can get back on the Facebook, because it's like, wow, we got scammed. We didn't realize that the person that complained and said you copyrighted their video didn't even make that video. And it took you to a website that sold used furniture. Really stupid. Okay, so 40 million people are going to lose their water. Everything's going to go bad, but where I want you to live is near a water source anyway, in the mountains. Yep, the Lord has me back on this kick of Michelle and Barack Obama. You think you're finished with history with these two guys? No way. They've got a job to complete, and they're going to do it. He's singing the battle hymn of the Republic, I believe, at this point in history. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the... She touched me. Oh, she touched me. This is supposed to be the Apostle Paul before Festus. They just dressed funny. But it was a star fort, baby. Everything in the world was. They've always had those buildings there, and people have always used them. Hey, we're going to go over balloons. Oh, we already started going over balloons. Blimp. It's funny. When the guy said, why did you name it Blimp? He said, well, what else would you name it? Isn't that funny? I think it is. That's why it's an onomatomic derivation of the sound that the airship makes when one taps the envelope, the balloon, with a finger. That's what they said. That's how come they called it a blimp. They couldn't come up with anything better than onomatomic. Onomatomic. Rigid semi balloons. So it's not that one. That's probably not delivering the chemtrails. But there are a lot of military uses for balloons, and many manufacturers and many countries have built blimps in many designs. Here's a few. Cool. I like it. It's like a burlap sack that floats. 2 rigid, non-rigid blimps were Parasite fighter trials. Ride, ride, ride. Hitching a ride. There's an Australian blimp. They didn't even show a picture of it. Early anti-submarine radar. Goodyear blimps. Blimps, blimps, blimps. intelligence, surveillance, target acquisitions, and reconnaissance. ESTAR is a practice that links several battlefield functions through balloons and surveillance. It's very important to them. Let's just look at some of the money that they would spend on these things. Yeah, just stars. Look at that. It's like a big pontoon ship, the Sea Hunter, unmanned, ocean going, patrolling, enforcing the North Pole. So go ahead, go. You'll prove nothing. You'll die. Nobody will remember you, but we'll see your life history in heaven. Drone, Reaper, unmanned, refuel, keep everything going. Do they even need humans anymore? But they need ways to monitor them. They're the eye in the sky looking at you. They can read your mind. Yes, they can. So the federal police in Mexico, what do we know about them? The federality. Is it, you know what? The people in Mexico aren't told they're corrupt. They're told our police are corrupt, and they're shown the proof. We're shown their police are corrupt, and we're shown the proof. Guess what? There's atrocities all over this world going on right now. But I just wanted to show, that these guys got balloons. They're not portrayed as bad in their own media. We don't know why people are pouring over the border. They're just sent there. Most of them aren't, they're not watching the news. But they're moderned up. They're like everybody else. They got these drones, observation from Israel, the United States. It's funny, they didn't show those balloons that we just saw and the other thing that Mexico does have. So I suspect that it's all over the world, that the drug war is a big joke. I think you should. Here, what's this? Magnificent planet. I was looking at this and it's just, it's the flood. Why is this? It's kind of buffering slow, but it's the same thing here. It looks like that was taken at 11:13. Nice detail. I wonder if that girl dressed up like that when she was a fallen woman dating the Breen Ridge. I haven't forgotten about that, and I hope I have more tabs, but I go in the order of what we got here. I got to have an order. It's not like I wasn't cleaning up around here today, making sun tea. Dude, what was that guy cut down that tree? Wow, cut the ice, sell the ice, skate on the ice, cut it down. Look at, he's using a steam powered with a cable that would be like a worm drive, RJ. Is that the right? I know you just explained worm drive to me 6 months ago, and I was going like, I don't get it. Will you explain it to me? And then when we were done, I just only acted like I understood. Because I'm embarrassed. I just bought one of these. A big one. I bought this one. But I found it for $36. I think I'm going to need it because I think I want to buy an electric bicycle. And I'm so tired of, like if the power goes out, I want to be able to charge things up. And they're practically giving them away. Oh, good. So I got mine with shipping and everything cheaper than that one, man. I'm going to get it a couple of days. Can take it with me when I start doing the Mustang trips. So there's proof that my email is not a joke. How about the history of Munster as we were getting, slow it down, check it out. You can look into that Breen Ridge fallen woman thing and follow that up on yourself. I still have some things I've got to get accomplished around here, so I'm not going to go much longer than an hour. Munster, not Monster, is a city in the northern part of Germany, the Rhine-Westphalia area. Major university town. Charlemagne sent out as a missionary Frisian Luger. He later got, you're a saint, dude. You are so holy now that is really amazing. You're a great, good choice, Charlemagne. You deserve all the credit that your fake empire. Ethelbert, didn't we just study something about that because of the A? He wrote history, Middle Ages. There we go. It's a nice town. When Munster Cathedral, he'll break me down. You could have done something. Oh, my baby left town. Munster and Magdeburg. That's what we got to really. So this is, my granddaddy took this picture. It was destroyed by the bombs. Oh, or Armageddon, or the reaping, or a lot of things. What a nice town Munster would be to visit. Nice mixture of ironwork and brick. Wow. Mongolian is an archaeological culture of the Native American peoples from northern. Hey, that's where I live around. See where the Rio Grande, they call it, that's where I live, right here. Not in this kind of bare patch in between, surrounded by the mountains here. Not at the start, but this is the Four Corners region. This is the Lord has said, I can, Lord willing, be like a presbyter for this area when there's a reset, because they're going to try to kill everybody, and they're going to do a good job of killing them all. And the only people that really are going to live are the people that are going to get encompassed about later. So stay out of the cities. Grand Canyon is really a great place to go to. I should show you a little video I was just looking at where I've got some of these pictures from today of where, because it's kind of what, you're going to, if you want to live. If you don't, if you'd rather, hey, come on, kids, suck it up. That fluoride water's not bad for you. I've got a chance at keeping my pension. Same thing. Let's go back a little bit more here. So you could sometimes, if you just click on the YouTube, and if you want to see a video that you watched recently, you could just pop it up. This is a free use. This is so cool about this plant.
Through decades of professional study, there's much we have learned about the way down there. Up here, we're looking at the North Rim. This point right there in the center is called Mount Hayden. And then actually the highest point in all of Grand Canyon National Park is where the snow-covered ridge line you see is. It's called Point Imperial. So there's where we ate lunch. Just kind of wanted to try to.
I think here you can see the San Francisco peaks.
We jokingly call it the Big Ditch, but I mean it's just a huge area that's really hard to fathom and wrap your mind around. over here, right, where we're looking at kind of a
This
section
is where I want you
the
to
north
live,
rim. So the north
rather
rim
than
generally
die
sits in higher elevation
or drowned in a
than the
flood
south rim.
or
When
another,
people come and
whatever the
visit
Lord
Grand
has in
Canyon
mind
National
for the
Park,
poor people
generally most of them
that
go to the
are,
south rim.
they know
We had
not what
X-ray
they
vision,
do.
and we could just look through, you know, this whole section of canyon and X-ray vision about 25 miles away from here. The south rim infrastructure is all kind of like over here. Okay, back on trail again. So post.
Boo.
Pretty cool stuff. Once again, we know very little about these people. So why caves and why these figures? Caves could possibly represent some spiritual belief in an underworld, much like some modern day southwestern tribes. Speaking of which, I actually didn't realize this is clearly one of those. So you can see how this has been, you know, smoothed out. This is definitely not naturally that smooth. But you know, these research before the trip turned up a few interesting things. To summarize that, I would say that archaeologists believe that this area was largely inhabited between about 1070
This is
and
all fair use
1150
for
AD.
news,
Now that doesn't mean that people didn't
education.
visit or live here prior to that or after that, but that time period was by far the most intense period of occupation. Now by 1200, it seems like most of this area was completely vacated. And that's an interesting trend because we see that kind of like 13th century time period out in this region. With Google Earth, I can
There you
also give you a
go.
very good overview.
Lenticular, Lichtenberg
So here's the
figure
creek we came down.
is prepared for us. They were
The
there.
delta
If you want to
is
live, there's a
structures. And
chance.
you're like, okay, clearly it's a building, but you know, for what? Do people live in them? You know, they're so small. We call these granaries, and it's kind of a catch-all term. That's basically, think of it as a storage unit. But these little storage units didn't only store grain like corn. There's been evidence of, you know, them storing like pinon nuts and oyas full of water and, you know, pottery and basically just think.
And there are locations with food stored for us, for you, for your children that are still, pinion nuts will grow. Look, we only have to wait another 22 years. It's not like it's going to take forever. But yeah, probably get over your fear of heights.
Look at that when we get home. One of the mysteries around this structure is what was the reason for the two wooden beams coming out of it. At first, my guess was they were for a pulley system, or possibly supports to rest a ladder on. But on closer examination, the beams don't extend out over the cliff, which made me
Let me
second
say
guess my
this
theory.
part about the plant and we'll wrap it up. Because this is instructional free use of another guy's video for nonprofit that we got to know about, man.
So here we have a big agave plant. Here's what they look like when they're alive. And they'll grow like that for maybe, you know, 20, 25, 30 years. And then one spring, they will decide to shoot up this stalk. Now, this one's all dead, of course.
Beautiful. They kind of remind me of a peonies or a yucca.
But they'll shoot the stalk up. I mean, some of them, that's probably 15 feet tall. Then the stalk will bloom. These are all the dead blooms. And inside, eventually, it'll go to seed. That's how it propagates. But almost similar to the salmon, you know, who goes upstream, spawns, and then dies. This thing, when it shoots the stalk up, dies as well. All right, we are on kind of a saddle.
All right, so just not to say that I want
all
to
this. We dropped in somewhere around the corner.
scare you, but I do want to, you know, make you
the shadows
aware of what's going on here. This is where you know, watch every step, but these trails were traveled for hundreds of years. They're established. You just to be careful. You know, it's 600 feet down. So with that in mind, you know, we're all going to have a life where we are given choices. They have limited them. You have no excuse now. You know, if you are on the narrow road, right now you are tolerated because they've won this culture war. Abortion's been legal for 50 years. They've got the power of the media. They're never going back. And even if there's a temporary reprieve and your man Trump wins and we can expose them and go, you lied, they're going to come back. They're going to say, well, we fixed it now. Everybody will be happy. We need to get cowpox eliminated. And anybody that's not on board, do you think that the whole masking up because you have to is over? Think about it. And where you live on this flat earth nation with the golden age past because the mud flood was Armageddon. That's why me and my friends will never tell you anything else. The whole truth, not just exposing a lie, but replacing it with the Bible because that's truth. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Hasta luego, Kaya Man. Did you know that means see you later?